of glass.
There's a lot that Jenny Baranchek's team does really well. When you take a look at the big picture in Division I, you see some of their rankings right there as they get set to take on a Texas A&M team that's 8-7 on the season, 1-2 in the SEC. They lost to South Carolina their last time out. Oklahoma fell at Mississippi State on Thursday. Joni Taylor's team on the road, ready to go, trying to even up their record in the SEC at 2-2. Former Big 12 rivals now meeting in the SEC on a Sunday evening in Norman. Brian Hall, Talisa Green, Angel Kent are officiating crew. Reagan Beers and Oklahoma in the home whites. Texas A&M in the road black, and the opening tip is controlled by Peyton Verhulst for Oklahoma. Entry pass to Beers, rips it away from Lauren Ware. Count it, and the foul, a chance for a three-point play.
Well, if you're Oklahoma, you wanted this start. Get Beers a low post touch. You see the pure strength. She does her work before the ball even hits her hands, just turns and scores.
Beers averaging 17 points a game. That's good for 9th in the conference, 6th in the conference in rebounding at 9.5 boards a game. 3 on the board for Oklahoma here in the opening seconds. The starting 5 for Texas A&M. Aisha Coulibaly, the leading scorer for this team. Soleil Williams at the point for this team that's tried to figure things out in the backcourt a little bit. They've been battling injury, as you've heard, throughout this first half of the season in the conference play. Here's Ware, back to Williams. Williams, good shooter. Can't get this to drop, and there's rebound number 1 for Beers. Nevaeh Tot is the point guard. You can see how quickly they want to move it up the floor. Skylar Vann puts it in for 2.
And Eric, one thing Joni Taylor said, these last 2 days of practice, we focused on the details in terms of our offensive execution. Setting better screens, using the screens will be really important against this Oklahoma defense.
Kent has it blocked by Verhulst on the perimeter, and they say it was last touched by Texas A&M, so it will be Oklahoma basketball. Here is that Oklahoma starting 5, same starting 5 for each game. Tots, that speed at the point guard spot. Verhulst, the number 2 scorer, and Beers 70% from the floor this season. Good defense by Texas A&M. Williams trying to get around Tots as A&M looks to get on the board.
And one thing Texas A&M needs to do today is convert the turnovers of Oklahoma into some easy transition points. That time, Tot got her hand on the crossover dribble and slowed A&M down.
Aggies last in scoring offense in the SEC, so it's been a struggle to get going offensively, and it's the case so far here in the opening minutes. Shot clock down to 3. Deep 3, front iron, no good. But a second chance here for Sahara Jones, but Oklahoma comes away. Three-pointer is off the mark, and Williams has the rebound for Texas A&M.
Oklahoma is going to put so much pressure on Texas A&M's transition defense today. They've got to get back, get solid, meaning 5-on-5, and communicate better than they did Thursday night against South Carolina.
Janae Kent, no, and Texas A&M cold to start. And now a turnover. I think the officials just say she pointed the wrong way, and it will be Texas A&M basketball. And back behind the play, a player for the Aggies is down. That's Aisha Coulibaly.
That's a teammate in Sahara Jones. She is tying the ankle brace.
I mean, Sahara Jones, throughout her career, has been someone who has done a little bit of everything. She's even playing some point guard this year, but she can offer the assists to get her teammate back up on her feet.
But Joni Taylor told me Sahara Jones does whatever it needs to be done. And Coulibaly just steps on that foot and goes down, and credit Sahara Jones for just being a great teammate there.
This is a player that could really make a difference for Texas A&M. It's Coulibaly averaging 12 points a game. Joni Taylor just wants her to do more and do more of it more often. Ware fighting for the first two for Texas A&M. Verhulst drops it back to Van off her hands. Texas A&M's forte is defense as they struggle to find things offensively. But can they turn that defense into offense today will be the big question. Beers.
And we talk a lot about how Oklahoma scores, but it's their off-ball movement that's really something to watch. The weak side especially. That time Beers had the seal, but just got pushed out.
One and done, the rebound for Jones. Jones in transition was shut off by Verhulst, and now a reset by Coulibaly.
And you see the post for A&M as being a passer, trying to pull them up to the high post to get Beers out of the paint.
Jones can't hit, and the rebound pulled down by Sahara Williams. Here's Verhulst. Van on the move. And a block. Good defense by Janae Kent. So there's 3 early turnovers for this Oklahoma team, and Jenny Baranchek's going to go to 4 subs. That is the big question for this Oklahoma team. I think she loves the pieces. She loves the potential, but they can't get out of their own way sometimes when it comes to taking care of the basketball.
Well, I mentioned that this is a high-scoring offense, 89 points a game, but they are averaging 26 turnovers in SEC play. I said to Jenny today, I said, you guys could be averaging 100 if you could take care of the ball. She said, I know it.
That's batted away, but no turnover. Zaya Van, the freshman, into the game, has played just 8 total minutes in the last 2 games. Beatrice Culleton in the post on the floor. Verhulst off balance, and she was fouled, and a trip to the free throw line coming up for the senior from DeSoto, Kansas.
We talked to Coach Baranchek for a while today about this offense, and she says the number one thing that hurts us offensively is when we have fouls or we turn the ball over, because we are a flow type of team, and so it's a double-edged sword with this offense as they continue to turn the ball over.
Verhulst at the free throw line. The word that she kept coming back to was hesitant. And if you want to be a free-flowing, share-the-ball offense, you cannot have that word in your vocabulary.
Well, and I asked her, is some of the hesitation becoming because you finally have a true low post, the first time since she's been at Oklahoma in Reagan Beers? And she said that is a little bit of it. She said, but as experienced we are, we could sense a little bit of the frustration that she thought that they'd be further along offensively than they are right now.
Jones will try it from deep. No good. A&M 1 for 9 so far from the field.
And 3 of those have been 3-point, which is not a strength of this A&M team. They do not want to settle for the long ball.
They're averaging under 4 made threes a game. Inside, Culleton for 2.
Culleton's learned from Reagan Beers because that young lady did her work before the ball even hit her hands to seal Jada Malone underneath the basket.
Culleton did not score in 6 minutes in Starkville last time out. Here's another 3-pointer on the way. As Christy mentioned, this is not a 3-point shooting team. This foul's going to be on Oklahoma, so we'll stay on this end of the court. So they are not a 3-point shooting team. What kind of team does Texas A&M aspire to be on offense? Because, as I mentioned before, last in the SEC in scoring, 14th in field goal percentage.
Well, their head coach believes that they need to be defense turned into offense, kind of offensive team. She said, first of all, today, they do not want to go against the half-court defense of Oklahoma, but I do believe the strength of this Aggies team is in the paint. Get the ball to their bigs.
Talia Parker, freshman, into the game. She's got it on the drive. Tries to create something. Can't do it. Jada Malone has come on. She'll fight on the glass. Offensive rebound. Rips it away from Culleton. And a second chance here. Parker lost the handle and turned it over. Turnover number 2 for the Aggies, averaging 17 a game. Quickly on the push the other way. The strong take by Raina Scott. Scott playing 11 minutes a game, coming off the bench for the 2nd straight season. She had a pretty good line against Mississippi State. 4 points, 3 assists, 3 steals on Thursday. It's a good sign for Texas A&M. Erica Moon into the game. She was battling an illness and it was a game-time decision, but the point guard is out there. We get to immediate timeout. 4:40 to go in the first quarter. All Oklahoma at the moment.
What the opponents are able to do, they're capitalizing on those miscues. 28 points a game, which, Eric's a whopping 34% of opponents' points per game right now in SEC play.
Out of the immediate timeout, Texas A&M with possession. Here's Coulibaly trying to get going against Scott.
Nice help by Lexi Keys.
Parker will try a step back three. No, it's a deep two for Talia Parker, averaging 5 points a game in 17 minutes a game. Williams from deep. Oklahoma 5 for 8 so far from the field. 6 different scores, and a foul on Culleton as Coulibaly goes down. Just to finish up the thought on the turnovers, because it's been such an alarming number. They're 260th in Division I in turnover margin, 302nd in turnovers per game. How many Division I teams are there at the moment? 361?
Yes. And big bucket. As usual, A&M so good at a timeouts. That time, Talia Parker with a little step back for the two.
Coulibaly's had trouble getting this knee brace right. Sahara Jones on the floor? No, she's on the bench right now because she could fix this right now. She took care of the knot in the laces before.
That deserves an assist. That's all I'm saying. And if you're a Texas A&M fan, you hope that these free throws for Coulibaly get her going offensively.
She's had her moment. She went for 32 in the SEC quarterfinal round against South Carolina. She had 26 points in the NCAA tournament matchup with Nebraska last year. They were all in the second half, so she can do it. Beers, great catch. Oh, great defense. Parker is going to get called for the foul on the second swipe, but she eliminated a certain 2 points with that first block.
For any young post players out there, watch Reagan Beers. She's putting on a clinic on how to seal and what to do without the ball in your hands. She came down at a transition and got positioning. Great find by her teammate.
So Parker picks up her second personal foul, and Beers at the free throw line, 62%. One of two. That's knocked out of bounds. Van said, I didn't touch it, but the officials are going to keep it with Texas A&M.
Texas A&M trying to do a little free throw sideline break there. Jada Malone's got to look before she makes that pass. A&M a little lucky there.
Erica Moon, a freshman, probably needs to work on her acting because she was taking a couple of steps in the backcourt like, well, that's a turnover, but got to help sell it, Erica, a little bit. Here's Kendall Hunter into the game.
You know, and statistically, it's not going to show a lot with what Hunter did at South Carolina on Thursday, but I thought it was one of her better games.
Good job by Skylar Van breaking up that attack by Texas A&M. Another entry, Bears. Another two for Reagan. Five assists on 6 field goals here in the first 7 minutes for Oklahoma.
I mean, Eric, we talk so much already about Oklahoma's offense, but the defense is consistently forcing A&M to not even get into an offense until single digits on the shot clock.
Coulibaly with 4 on the shot clock. She'll try another 3. Texas A&M is 2 of 14 shooting.
With the last possession, A&M sprinted back to get matched up, but in that sprinting, they took away the front side, and so Beers just asked for ball reversal, had the seal. Great pass there by Van. Easy 2 for Beers. A&M going into a matchup zone now. Williams
Knocks down another 3. That's her second, came into the game at under 30%, 29% from outside the three-point line, averaging 10 a game, and she's got 6 here in the first.
So again, we're under 20 now, and we've got two guards just trying to get a team into an offense.
Lauren Ware comes out to set the screen. Williams for Coulibaly.
Oklahoma switched up their defense as well.
5 on the shot clock. Once again, winding down. Oklahoma still there defensively. Hunter beats the shot clock. Can't get the 3. Off the miss, you know what Oklahoma wants to do. They want to run. Van, Tot, Verhulst. Entry pass, Beers. Beers is fouled by Amira Abdul-Rahim.
And it's the high-low game again for Beers. She started high on the ball reversal, screen down, and she's just doing a great job of sealing the defender.
Fourth team foul on Texas A&M, and Beers heading back to the free throw line. 19 points, 10 boards, was 7 of 8 from the field last time out against Mississippi State. Women's hoop tomorrow night, SEC Network, and also on the ESPN app. Camille Pierre, Michaela Blake's talented freshman, and Vanderbilt will take on Flau'jae Johnson. And LSU coverage starts at 7 Eastern time. LSU winning at Tennessee last time out to improve to 18-0 on the season.
I'm sorry, you bring up LSU and you don't bring up Anissa Morrow, Miss Double-Double herself, leading the country in rebounds?
I've got to lead something for you to talk about.
There is Coulibaly.
You mean Anissa Morrow at 23 points and 21 rebounds for 90th career double-double in that game?
Okay, an assist is to let me feel good for the moment.
Well, I got the assist, but I still got to dunk when I can.
Well, I mean, it's like you led me to the rim, I missed it, and then you dunked it.
I cleaned it up.
Yes.
Van will inbound it. Kirsten Johnson on the floor.
So A&M goes to that 1-3-1 on the out of bounds. We saw Oklahoma work on it throughout shoot-around, so prepared.
Tot knocks down another 3 for Oklahoma. They are sizzling from the floor here in the first quarter. 8 of 12 shooting, 3 for 5 from outside the three-point line, and they've held Texas A&M to 19% from the floor. Williams will try for 3.
Three-point basket by Soleil Williams.
And now with just over a minute to go, can A&M build on that made basket?
The answer is yes, and you don't have to wait very long for that answer when Oklahoma's got the basketball. Jones, back for Williams. Lauren Ware inside against Beers. Beers with the block on defense. 20th block of the season for the team leader in that category. Oklahoma can hold for 1 here, but I don't know if they know what that means. Tot, too strong. Hunter, Lauren Ware telling Hunter, hold for 1. Didn't pay attention to it, and now Oklahoma's got plenty of time. And 10 seconds is an eternity for this Oklahoma offense, but now down to 2. Verhulst has to launch off balance. No, but all in all, a very good first quarter for Oklahoma.
Oklahoma did it inside. They did it outside. They did it in transition, and their defense was really good as well. In transition, getting it out. Everyone got a piece of the action here in the first quarter.
For Oklahoma compared to Thursday for Baranchik's team, they scored 11 points in that opening quarter against Mississippi State. They put 27 on the board here. They had a strong second quarter in that game. Went on a 15-2 run to close the half, and they had a 4-point lead in the third, but they never got the lead in the fourth quarter after giving up. And the Bulldogs had a win at home. Coulibaly out of the quarter break, inside Ware, no, and into the hands of Liz Scott. And then a turnover to start the quarter for Oklahoma, their 4th of the half.
Well, as much as we've harped on the turnovers for Oklahoma, kudos to them, because after that first media, they were turnover free until this one.
For Texas A&M, this is very familiar when you think back of where they were on Thursday night. They got outscored in that first quarter by South Carolina, 25-10. South Carolina shot 63% in that first quarter, so compare it, 27-10 here today, and 60% for Oklahoma, so another slow start for the Aggies.
Well, we asked Joni Taylor, what was the message after the game? She said, we washed it away. There was no point dwelling on it. Practice the last 2 days were primarily on us. We need to clean things up. We need to get back to the details. And let's be frank, South Carolina does that to a lot of teams.
Yes. And when Oklahoma is playing to their potential, which we have not seen for a full 40 minutes at a time yet, they're one of the top 10 teams in the country. They're ranked 10th right now. They've got great depth. Here's Scott on the board. So that's another one who scored for Oklahoma. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 have scored already for the Sooners.
Well, what's scaring me is the way Oklahoma is just slicing and dicing against the underneath out-of-bounds defense of A&M. They're getting whatever they want right now.
Here's Jones turning, unable to get it, and a rebound for Oklahoma, picked up by Scott. Here's Todd.
That was a great rim run by Johnson.
Todd will try it from deep. Rebound for Ware. That's what Texas A&M wants to do. They're not afraid to run. They really don't want to be set up in a half-court offense, and that's all they've been here in the first half. Williams can't get it. And Jones gets fouled, trying to pull down the rebound. Nice gesture by Verhulst to go over and help her up after committing the foul.
And we were honest with Joni Taylor. We said, hey, Oklahoma's offense isn't just good, it's their defense too. And she said, yes, we need to be able to score in transition to keep this tight. And this is what you want your veterans to do. Sahara Jones, just the extra effort there to get on the offensive glass for Texas A&M.
First foul on Verhulst. One and done for the Aggies. Lexi Keys. Three-pointer is good. Raina Scott has a three. She's 5 of 17 on the season from outside the three-point line. So everyone filling it up from outside the arc for Oklahoma here in the first half.
The ball is just sticking so much right now versus the ball getting reversed side to side and putting some pressure on the defense of Oklahoma.
Once again, the shot clock set to expire. It's at 3. Kent has to launch, does not, and it's a turnover. Good defense by Oklahoma. Turnover number 5 for the Aggies.
And this is where Soleil Williams, as a point guard, needs to take ownership of this team. You always have to know time and score as a point guard. You have to have an internal clock.
And illegal screen's going to get called on Oklahoma. Liz Scott gets whistled for the foul. That's her second, so she'll head to the bench and be replaced by Williams.
I know Scott's upset with that call, but I love the aggressiveness. I loved how she was trying to get the steal, and her teammate probably missed her. One dribble there, she had her for that feed, and you see the push-off there that gets her that second foul.
Williams trying to do something off the dribble. Parker. Williams will launch. That's off the mark. Shooting woes continue, and a foul is going to be called on Janae Kent.
One thing I'm seeing on offense right now for Texas A&M is whether it's an on-ball screen or other screens, the player's not getting close enough to execute and use the screen. So Oklahoma's just beating them to the spot.
Second foul on Kent. Williams. Too strong from Culleton off the window. And here's Parker. Parker trying to do something on the attack. Well done, and it drops in for Jones, her first points.
Nice job by Parker. She gets in the paint, pulls the defense, and that's how Jones is open.
Culleton. Kick to the corner, three-pointer on the way. Zaya Van too strong, and Ware was fouled. Koulibaly coming back into the game for Texas A&M. Tuesday night, men's hoop. Texas A&M among the teams you can see trying to bounce back after that Alabama loss in College Station last night. They'll take on Kentucky, 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Then on ESPN, Cooper Flag, 4th-ranked Duke, hosting Miami. And then we'll head out west, Baylor and Arizona, 11 Eastern, all coming up on Tuesday. Cooper Flag had a big game yesterday, Christy. How big?
42 points.
Yes.
And Eric, think about the history of the ACC. He set the freshman scoring record with those 42 points.
I knew that, but see, I assisted to you. 11 of 14 from the field and 16 of 17 from the free throw line.
I was going to follow up with that and get my own dunk on that one. Regardless of who says it, that's impressive.
Williams gets called for the personal. That's her first.
This is where A&M needs to steal some points, whether it's out-of-bounds execution, trying to get something off of a turnover. Just try to cut into this deficit right now.
Jones trying to work against Beers. Hard, tough work there, and she'll earn a trip to the free throw line.
Jenny Ronchek does not understand that foul call.
I think it was even before that. There might have been a travel or a double dribble.
I thought that was a travel there. The officials
on Beers,
said it was being juggled around.
So Jones to the free throw line. 5th year from San Antonio, playing in game number 117 for the Aggies here today. Give you an idea, she is far from the biggest player on the floor. Ooh, good play by Parker to come up and steal a possession. Tried to turn it into some quick offense, but another turnover by Oklahoma and another turnover on Oklahoma. So this is when it gets a little sideways on the Sooners, but now it's given back by Texas A&M as Williams gets called for the offensive foul.
Texas A&M number 15, Soleil Williams, first personal.
So Eric, A&M gets 2 turnovers in the last 10 seconds and can't convert any of them into points. First time Parker, 1-on-3, ill-advised shot in my opinion to take that. But I love the effort by Sahara Jones to get the turnover back, and then Soleil Williams just rushing, trying to get some offense for A&M and gets called for that charge.
I saw that in that replay too. Kind of an awkward fall for Jones, but she doesn't leave the court. That's batted by Koulibaly away. And you can see when we talked about the turnovers, they were -10 in margin against Mississippi State on Thursday. Their 9th game where they had more turnovers than their opponent this year. In their 3 losses, they're -22 in margin. It's hurt them.
It definitely has, and especially knowing the depth of the SEC and what they have coming up.
Beers can't get that to drop. Williams fighting for the loose ball. 1 from Oklahoma, 1 from Texas A&M. Soleil Williams comes away with it. 3-pointer is good. Parker stepped into that one. She's playing with a little bit of confidence here today. Didn't score in 12 minutes last time out against South Carolina. I'm sensing a little bit of a different feel to that freshman's game so far. 7-0 run right now for Texas A&M, and that'll get us to a timeout. Media timeout, 15-point game, second quarter in Norman.
We've known that they've had talent all along in South Carolina, especially bigs. What we didn't know is how they would respond to the adversity. And Sanaya Fagan, we have been ready for her to bust out because all the pieces are there for this young lady, and that's what she did today against Texas.
So they want to make sure they had the foul right. I think it was the foul on Koulibaly prior to the timeout. Out of the timeout, how about that? Oklahoma They had plenty of time to draw up that play, think about that play, and when it came time to execute that play, they did so beautifully. Skylar Van for 3.
Eric, by my calculations, that's 8 points on out-of-bounds offense for Oklahoma already in this game.
Parker, a little bit of a heat check. Sahara Jones, offensive rebound, and a second chance here for Texas A&M. Shot clock down to 4. Jada Malone takes a look at the clock, leans in, can't score against Beers, and here comes Todd. Williams. Van, and Beers gets knocked down, and a foul is going to be called on Jada Malone.
And A&M continues to have a difficult time defending the post-to-post down screen, high to low, because on the screen, if they switch, Beers gets into the defender immediately. This time it's Malone and just seals her, and Malone's trying to make sure Beers doesn't come back there again.
Mission accomplished. So Beers to the free throw line, Oklahoma in the bonus. Inside of 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Oklahoma, not a great free throw shooting team. 13th in the SEC, 69%. Beers knocks down the first. Of course, much was made about her being the prize piece in the transfer portal for any team, and she ended up at Oklahoma. And we asked Jenny Baranchek again about that today. Just like, fill us in again. How'd she end up here? And one of the key things was she told Jenny Baranchek, you need me at Oklahoma. It was Reagan Beers who had scouted them and said, you need what I can do for what you do. How does she fit into what they're trying to do this year in their first year in the SEC?
Well, I think first of all, it gives you a true low post presence, because I've said this countless times. To win consistently in this league, you need to have a true post player. This is a team that's also still evolving, because Jenny has not had a true low post player as long as she's been at Oklahoma. So in terms of pace, in terms of how to get the ball inside, this is a team still evolving and growing.
Looking for her there. Malone gets called for the foul.
For the Aggies, number 7, Kendall Hunter.
So Malone picks up her second personal. That's 2 on Malone, 2 on Coulibaly, 2 on Kent, and 2 on Parker for the Aggies. They're piling up the fouls.
I will say this much. You have to be fundamentally sound defensively when you face Oklahoma. Your help side has to be moving on passes, because they move the ball so well, and you have to outstep these down screens. A&M's getting sealed when they make the switch, and this is why Beers is feasting right now.
And keep in mind, Beers missed about 6 weeks of the preseason, was dealing with headaches, so that just put a pause on her time with her new team and what she was able to do to get ready for the season. So here we are, January 12th. It's still early season comparatively for her, but she looks to be in midseason form here today. And running back the other way, great catch by Williams, who slams on the brakes but couldn't get it to go. Tapped it back out. Opportunity here, but that one's off the mark, and Coulibaly is fouled by Tots.
Well, I don't know if OU football needs a quarterback, but I'm just saying Verhulst could sign up for it. I mean, that was an amazing pass. Just unfortunate that Williams couldn't finish. But I do appreciate Verhulst came down and almost had a chance at the second chance opportunity from 3.
Oklahoma over the limit, so A&M shooting 2 the rest of the way here in this second quarter. Coulibaly averaging a team best 12 points a game. Last year averaged 13.5 a game, led the team in that category. A&M went on a 7-0 run. OU answered with a 7-0 run. That ended the Oklahoma run. Beers and Coulibaly battle for the rebound. Here's Williams on the push. Williams travel. Might have been the opportunity for Williams to take it to the basket there, but perhaps thinking, well, I'm the point guard for this team. Let me think pass first, but
I
turnover.
don't have a problem with the pass. It was just there was no touch on it. That was a bullet fired over to her teammate, and just tough, very difficult to handle.
Verhulst was the intended recipient on that Williams pass. Battle for it. Once again, Koulibaly's on the deck. Beers as well. Williams left open for three. Rebound for Ware. And the foul is going to be called on Skylar Vann, and back to the free throw line for Texas A&M.
I think these last 2:20 are really important for Texas A&M. Coming off a really difficult game against South Carolina, it's time to start creating positive momentum. And how do you do that? We're seeing them get some points on the board by getting to the free throw line. Now, can your defense get a stop after these free throws?
Well, it feels like the door's open a little bit, right? 4 turnovers this quarter for Oklahoma. They're not shooting well here in this quarter. 3 for 11. They are 1 for their last 8 from the field. So the door is ajar. The question is, can the Aggies do anything with it? Hunter comes through at the line. Her first points. On the back cut, and another turnover for Oklahoma. That's number 8.
And so for A&M, they got points. They got to stop. Let's create some more positive momentum. Execute on offense now. And I think A&M needs to go a little bit faster on offense. They've just been getting really deep into the shot clock and being forced in some bad shots.
Back out to Hunter. Williams lost the handle. I think it was last touch by Oklahoma. 7 to shoot for the Aggies.
Seeing zone by Oklahoma and out of bounds as well.
Hunter short on the jumper. Lord Ware fighting for the offensive rebound and into the hands of Hunter. Good fight by Ware. Entry pass, Abdul-Rahim. Verhulst with the block. Good defense by Peyton Verhulst, and here comes Oklahoma. Knocked away by Ware. Another turnover for the Sooners. Hunter tiptoed down the lane. Nothing called, and a foul called on Ware. 2 free throws for Oklahoma. 1:25 to go in the quarter.
Package foul number 32, Lord Ware, second personal.
Second on Ware.
So, Eric, you've talked about the door being open. Now for A&M to make the next step in this season, they've got to charge through the door. When teams are giving them these kind of opportunities, they've got to capitalize.
Skylar Vann shooting 2.
So here's Skylar Vann at the free throw line. Vann hasn't been there much this year, just 8 of 11 from the line this season. Of course, last year, the Big 12 co-player of the year. But with the addition of Beers to the lineup, Liz Scott coming back after not playing because of a shoulder injury. A couple of the key players for this Oklahoma rotation, certainly this year. There's not as many opportunities perhaps for Vann. Turnover by Texas A&M. Good shooter in transition. Lexi Keys. Foul called on Janae Kent. That'll be her 3rd.
Well, Eric, to just follow up on Skylar Vann, she is the reigning co-Big 12 Player of the Year, and she is the 4th leading scorer on this team. That talks about the different ways that Oklahoma can beat you, the depth they have, not only in scoring, but also in the versatility of some of the players' skill sets.
Well, Vann's been in a bit of a slump. Didn't score against Tennessee in that come-from-behind win for the Sooners, averaging 5.5 points a game her last 4. Beers just over the top to get the rebound, and back to the free throw line for Oklahoma.
Well, on the missed free throw, I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a little rub screen or not, but Reagan Beers just elevated over Abdul-Rahim to rip that rebound down and get to the free throw line.
Attempts 16 and 17 from the free throw line in the first half for Oklahoma. Beers is in a rhythm from the line. She's now 10 of 11. She's got 16 points, and Oklahoma is on top by 21. Final minute, first half. Hunter. She'll try a deep three. The freshman, Zaya Van, spinning, tiptoeing, but traveling.
That last little tiptoe is what got the turnover called.
Like, if you say tiptoe, that's 2 steps, that's legal. But if you go tiptoe, that's 3, and that's not legal.
Well, it was the tip, then they got it. I do want to say this about Lauren Ware. She is almost a pseudo point guard on both ends of the floor. She is talking. She is relaying what Joni Taylor is saying on both ends of the floor. She's directing. I would like to see her get a touch.
They tried to go to a touch there, number 32 in black, but it's a turnover. Oklahoma will not hold for a final shot. That won't drop. Oh, the wee little player on the floor, Zaya Van, gets in amongst the trees to get the putback. Williams with 4, 3, count the 2, and that's it for the first half. Oklahoma put 27 on the board in the first quarter. Wasn't as efficient in quarter number 2, but when you look at the score, it's pretty effective. 44-23 at halftime. Sooners shooting 45% in the first half. Texas A&M shooting just 19% in half number 1. We're at the half in Norman with 10th ranked Oklahoma on top by 21.
I hope they listen to those things that the coach had to say, because this team needs to get back. First and foremost, transition defense. Communicate with one another. Secondly, team defense. Help, recover. Post can't defend Beers 101 down low. They've got to either double it or try to prevent her from getting those touches. I'd like to see more ball pressure around the perimeter to prevent some of those easy entry passes.
Lauren Ware to deny the entry pass. Beers not giving up on the play, though, battling with Ware at the logo, and the possession arrow will give it to Texas A&M. For the Aggies, 3 players scored 5. Coulibaly, Williams, and Parker combining for 15 of their 23 in the first half.
Well, and I expect Aisha Coulibaly to get a touch here. They like to try to get her going to start each quarter.
She's got the touch. Now she's going to try it from deep for 2. That's how I know Christy Thomas-Cuddy has watched each and every one of Texas A&M's games this year. No one watches more tape. Beers inside, denied by Ware. All right, so what do they do with their second possession of the second half, Coach?
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Go back to Aisha Coulibaly.
Kent playing with 3 fouls, and Lauren Ware knocks it down from outside. So good start here for the Aggies. 4 points for Ware. Van Verhulst with a deep 3. Yes. Payne Verhulst with their first field goal of the game. She was 0 for 2 from the floor in the first half. She's got 5. And Oklahoma back on top by 20. Their largest lead, 23 in the first half. Ware from outside again. Nope.
And Ware's going to have that shot because Beers isn't going to come out of the paint defensively. She had the seal again if Tot wanted to hit her.
Tot wide open on the opposite side. She knocks down the 3. That's her second 3-pointer of the game.
And A&M turns it over because Sahara Jones stepped over the line there. She was passing it in, and the official was on top of it to make the call.
So that's the 9th turnover for the Aggies.
Oklahoma puts so much pressure on you, and you see it time and time again, unfortunately, in this game for Texas A&M. They're running to the paint. They're not getting 5 people matched up. That time, Todd opened for the 3.
Not out of bounds by Coulibaly. Oklahoma 7 of 17 from outside the 3-point line. They average 8.5 made threes a game. That's 4th in the SEC. Struggled to find the range against Mississippi State on Thursday. That's going to be a 3-second violation and turnover number 12 for the Sooners.
Oklahoma extending to a little full court pressure, trying to deny the inbounds pass.
Here's Soleil Williams, chased by Todd, rejected by Beers.
And Eric, I don't fault Soleil Williams. She's just trying to make something happen, but you got to realize that that is Reagan Beers rim protecting down there.
Interesting, Koulibaly got rid of the knee brace at halftime. She's going with the full sleeve on that left leg here in the second half, and she'll go to the free throw line.
Well, she had the opening bucket, and now she just made a great drive to draw that foul. So far, I like it.
Now she needs a moment. Limping to the free throw line.
Well, I love it. She gets by her defender, and instead of challenging Beers, she uses her athleticism to get by her laterally, and then she draws the foul.
She came down. She made pretty hard contact with Skylar Van. Both staying in the game. Koulibaly at the line.
Koulibaly is a difficult matchup for teams. You go big on her, as we just saw, she can get to the rim. You go small on her, she'll post you up, and she is so physical with opponents that, again, it's difficult to find that one matchup to put on her for 40 minutes.
It feels like sometimes she needs to be reminded of that she's got that ability. She's proven it for a long time in the SEC, first at Auburn and now at Texas A&M. Foul called on the Aggies. I understand being unselfish and being a facilitator and trying to do a lot of things, but this is a team that needs some offense, and they may need her just to shoot a little bit more. As we mentioned before, only 8 field goal attempts against South Carolina in their most recent game. 5 field goal attempts here so far today.
Well, and Joni Taylor will call offenses for her. I don't even think she needs the offense. A set called for her. She is that gifted. And her aspirations are to play at the next level. And so I think for her, that motor's got to get running more consistently throughout a 40-minute game. And yes, to your point, she needs to start looking to take over ball games.
Janae Kent picked up her 4th personal foul. 1 of 2 for Sahara Williams. She's got 7. Parker wasn't afraid to hunt for her shot. You see the foul trouble for Texas A&M with Kent on the bench with 4. Turnover by Koulibaly. Skylar Van back the other way for Oklahoma. Williams. Tot looking for Beers inside. Good pass, but taking a little while for Beers to do something with it. And a whistle and a 3-second violation called on Oklahoma.
Here's one thing I've noticed about Texas A&M's transition defense. When they get up and get on the ball handler earlier, they've been able to get stops in transition and force Oklahoma in the half-court offense. When they have not stopped ball, Oklahoma's really made them pay.
4 new Sooners on the floor. Berholtz, the only one of the original starting 5 out there right now.
When I asked Jenny Baranczyk today about her defense, she said, we need to be able to change up our defenses. So she said, expect us to try to do some different things defensively today.
Parker on the pull-up. Yes. Freshman Talia Parker has 7. Her season high 14 against Syracuse.
Good defense versus the backdoor cut there by Parker.
And Scott is going to get whistled for the foul. That's her 3rd.
This Scott just getting physical down low and extends the arm, but Sahara Jones is pretty good at getting that call.
Oh, when you've played in 117 games.
So you're saying they're veterans.
Yes.
I mean, Liz Scott, this is her 6th year.
Well, listen, you saw her reaction. It's like, hey, that's my move. I know how to sell it. It's good to see Scott back and playing again, although she just turned it over. And she's someone who just is a tough player, determined player, has overcome a ton with the injuries. Good defense by Oklahoma. Here's Verhulst. Zaya Van is fouled, and she belly flops on the baseline. Looks to be okay.
Well, here's what I like about Liz Scott for Oklahoma. We know what Beers does in a low post in terms of sealing and really getting the paint points. But Liz Scott's just athleticism. Her ability to create off the bounce is just a nice yin to the yang of Beers.
And she's coming off the bench. Remember, she was a 2-year starter before missing last year with that shoulder injury. So she's someone, as you mentioned, been around this program for a long time. Before Jenny Baranchak got there. It's now the 4th year for Jenny here in Norman.
I mean, if you're playing your 6 years, have you started paying taxes yet?
Do you want to go down this road? Do you want to start this sort of financial discussion?
No, we'll use the NBA a different time.
It's a long way to tax day in April, all right? Let's just put that on the back burner for a little bit. Jada Malone on the floor for the Aggies. 4 minutes gone by here in the 3rd quarter.
I mean, Malone's only had 1 shot in this game so far as well.
Jones. Do you get the sense that A&M is at least trying to go a little quicker in the shot clock? Good fight. Koulibaly gets the putback, a chance for a 3-point play.
Absolutely. It was the shot selection deep in the shot clock. So how do you fix that? Try to avoid getting deep in the shot clock. And that's what we've seen. And I do like that Koulibaly's already been more aggressive in this 3rd quarter. This time, times the rebound. There's no over the back there because she jumps up and over, rips that rebound to get the and one.
Koulibaly now with 12. Aggies have outscored Oklahoma 11-8 to start the 2nd half. Raina Scott. Van.
Nice help by Malone.
Back the other way is Erica Moon. Moon on a minute's restriction as she comes back from injury. Didn't play last year. Parker can't get it. Jones kept it alive. Koulibaly gets clothesline by Liz Scott. That's going to be 4 on Scott. And Koulibaly is down.
Sooners foul 34, Liz Scott. 4th personal, team foul 4. In for the Aggies, number 7, Kendall Leonard. Number 23, Amira Abdul-Rahim.
Aisha just looks like someone who's going to need an extra ice bag or 2 on the flight back to College Station.
They may just take the cold whirlpool tub with them. I mean,
there's still a couple of snowbanks in town. You can just go jump into one for a little while.
This is the physicality of Aisha Koulibaly. I mean, unfortunately for her that time, just gets the bad end of it hard down to the floor. But she is walking off on her own accord now.
Turnover by the Aggies. Here comes Van the other way. Van takes it to the basket for 2. We've seen her score in the paint a couple of times here today. 5 points for the freshman from Edmond.
I asked Coach Baranchak about Zaya Van, and she said, hey, tons of potential, but she is a freshman. She's still learning things.
Oh, good pass by Parker for Amira Abdul-Rahim, who has her first points. Scott for 2. Hunter. Defended by Lexi Keys. Malone back for Moon. Moon. And a foul is going to be called, I believe, on the Sooners. It is on Zaya Van, and that will get us to immediate timeout. 4:07 to go in the 3rd quarter in a 20-point game.
Well, as much as we've talked about the bigs, it's 2 guards off the bench that are steadying the offense for Oklahoma. First, it's Zaya Van going coast to coast, just knifing her way past defender after defender, and just kisses it really soft off the glass, going full speed. And then Scott backs it up with another 2.
time. I know Vanderbilt's put up some impressive results so far. And we mentioned LSU coming up that win. Kalen Gilbert, another circus shot, a game winner for LSU in the victory against Tennessee. And when you take a look at teams in the top 25, I don't know what's going to happen with Oklahoma after today because they lost to Mississippi State, currently number 10. South Carolina will hold on to their spot at number 2 after their win over Texas today. 67-50 the final. Tapped out of bounds. It'll stay Oklahoma ball.
Alabama with a big win.
How about that?
Ole Miss today.
That's a bounce back because Alabama was lopsided loser to Texas on Thursday, but Bama wins at 84-78. Aaliyah Nye goes for 32 in the win in Oxford. So an impressive win for Alabama, playing without Sarah Ashley Barker.
And Eric, I'll be eager to see what happens to Texas in the polls when they come out on Tuesday.
Parker lost the handle on the way to the basket. Beers on the court. Off to Skylar Van. Verhulst. Van sets for 3.
So Oklahoma can put pressure on you because, yes, Beers is the post, but both Van and Williams can also post. So if you don't get matched up correctly and get out on the 3, what just happened will occur. Van will knock down that outside shot.
Abdul-Rahim has that shot. Can't get it this time, and Verhulst rips down the rebound. Back behind the play, Reagan Beers is grabbing her left arm, which is hanging limp at the moment. She is in a lot of pain back behind the play. Not even lifting her arm. Verhulst will come back to check on her. Just keeping that left arm hanging. And the athletic trainer for Oklahoma, Brittany Beaver, just trying to find out, along with head coach Jenny Baranchek, what happened. Let's see. Oh, she got locked up with Malone and then got the arm pulled back a little bit. Oh, yeah. So it looks like left shoulder got tugged back a little bit for Reagan Beers. So anxious moments here for Oklahoma and their fans as their leading scorer and rebounder heads back towards the locker room. Verhulst can't hit off the turnaround. Abdul-Rahim with the rebound. So Culleton into the post now for Oklahoma. And if we get an update on Reagan, we'll be sure to pass it along. Erica Moon will launch for a 3. Couldn't get it. And the rebound for Williams. Williams, wild pass. And she taps her chest right away saying, my bad, my bad. But we've seen that so often with this Oklahoma team.
24, Jones, 13, Soleil Williams, 32 over winner.
Texas A&M going almost a whole 5 for 5 there, but leaving Abdul-Rahim on the floor.
I don't think we saw enough on that. Was there a foul missed on Beers? Obviously, she got, clamping could have been called in that. And we saw the official, Brian Hall, watching it right in front of him.
That would have been the only call I could have seen, was the clamping.
Abdul-Rahim back out top. Koulibaly passed on the 3 once. Thought about it the second time, and a foul called on Oklahoma.
I think Oklahoma's discovering why Sahara Jones is a difficult matchup. She doesn't stop. When the ball goes in the air, she is flying through there trying to get second chance opportunities, and this time gets the foul called.
So Jones will step to the free throw line. Elsewhere in the SEC today, Tennessee with a 30-point win. Talasia Cooper had 20 in the victory in Fayetteville over Arkansas. Mississippi State made it back-to-back wins. They won at Georgia by 11. And Nia Russell, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists the Mississippi State team that had a big win against Oklahoma on Thursday, and they followed that up with a win in Athens. Kentucky wins again, Christy. They're 4-0 in the SEC. Georgia Amore, 21 points, 11 assists. They won by 19 at home against Auburn today. So Kentucky still undefeated in the SEC.
And I feel like no one's talking about Kentucky.
That's why could you hear me? Like,
you,
I'm bringing it up right now for you to talk about it. Let's go.
Oh, there's that assist again, huh? You know, I got to watch them practice earlier this year. I say this every time when we talk about Kentucky. Their top 5 is probably at least top 4 or 5 in the SEC. My question for them will be
6 and 7 and 8, because there's not a lot of depth.
What happens if they have to go to that bench, which so far in SEC play, they really have not had to.
Oklahoma fans letting everyone know what they think of that call. It's a foul against the Sooners. Verhulst with 3 personals now. Zaya Van will come into the game. Lexi Keys will come into the game.
Sahara Jones is trying to create something off the dribble, and I don't often agree with all the fans, but this time I agree with the fans. I didn't see a foul there. And based on Jenny Bronchek's body language right now, I don't think she agrees with that foul either.
Brian Hall could have hung out a little closer to midcourt instead of giving Jenny a chance to state her case. Seven points for Jones. Turnover, Oklahoma. That's 17.
And Eric, we just got an update on Reagan Beers. It is an upper body injury, unlikely to return in this game.
Okay, thank you.
Questionable to return in this game. This is a very veteran, experienced ball club for Oklahoma, so I do not expect them to miss a beat with Reagan Beers being out of this game.
Amir Abdul-Rahim knocks down the 3-pointer. It's a 6-0 run for the Aggies. They have outscored Oklahoma 21-15 here in this third quarter. Approaching a minute to play in the third. Van tries to split defenders, cannot. 9 to shoot.
Now, what I will say about Oklahoma now, who gets the ball in these late shot clock possessions? Usually it's a Beers. You know you can get the ball to her. She'll go up and score. Who's going to be the playmaker now for Oklahoma?
Verhulst on the bench with the 3 fouls at the moment. A lot of bench pieces on the floor right now, except for Van. 3-pointer off the mark. Abdul-Rahim had the rebound only for the moment. Gets tied up. Possession arrow will keep it, or will give it to Texas A&M. With under a minute to go in the third quarter.
And this is something Joni Taylor said we might see today. Sahara Jones running the point for the Aggies.
Coulibaly.
Good help side.
Soleil Williams launches a 3. That won't drop down. Batted out of play, and it will stay with the Aggies. Shot clock is off with 30 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Eric, that play was an ISO for Coulibaly to go one-on-one. Very well scouted by Oklahoma because the help side by Van just took away the dribble penetration opportunity.
Williams throws it off the back of Culleton, but could not score, and a foul is called on the Aggies.
Well, you always tell your players, never turn your backside to an inbound defender. Heads up play by Soleil Williams, just can't get the ball to go down.
Now Oklahoma will hold for 1. Van. Williams all over her with 9 to go in the quarter. Picked up the dribble. Scott with 4 and a foul called on Williams. That's the 4th team foul, so, oh, correction, that's going to be the 5th team foul, so 2 free throws here. Chelsea Newton and Joni Taylor talking a little strategy here. Overall, it's been a good quarter for Texas A&M. They've gotten back into the game. They've outscored Oklahoma by 6 in this quarter. They're down by 15, pending what happens with these Scott free throws here in the final seconds of the third.
We know that Texas A&M has that sideline free throw break, so that's an option here for them. Soleil Williams with the ball in her hands really quick, too, so that's another option.
2 free throws.
Sideline break
For Scott. Williams shut down by Zaya Van on the run at the buzzer. That will do it. And we will head to the 4th quarter in what is now a 17-point game. Oklahoma and Texas A&M meeting for the first time in 10 years. Can A&M make a comeback in the 4th? Come back and find out. Scotty back with you here, Norman, Oklahoma. As we head to the 4th quarter, that 3rd quarter belonged to Texas A&M on the scoreboard. What was different, Christy, in that 3rd quarter for the Aggies?
Well, offensively, Aisha Coulibaly only had 5 points at halftime, 7 in that 3rd quarter, so that was a positive. They limited the turnovers, only 4 in that quarter, and more importantly, their defense got better. Transition was better, forced Oklahoma into some half court, and they just defended so much better, holding them to only 36% in the 3rd quarter.
Burholz can't get the 3 to drop, and here comes Coulibaly back the other way. A reminder, if you're just joining us, Reagan Beers suffered an apparent shoulder injury. The report was an upper body injury for Beers in the 3rd quarter. She scored 16 points in the 1st half, didn't score in the 2nd half before leaving with the injury. The report was doubtful to return, left here grimacing, looked like she was in a lot of pain. So we are going to expect Oklahoma to be without Beers, their leading scorer and rebounder, the rest of the way here in Norman against the Aggies.
And so we have talked so much about the need for Oklahoma to take care of the ball. I think without Reagan Beers on the floor, paramount that they get good shots.
Fourth quarters have not been kind to the Sooners so far through 3 games in their first season playing in the SEC. Both teams 1 and 2 in conference play. 3 seconds to shoot. Williams has it blocked by Verhulst, and that will be a shot clock violation.
Shot clock getting skinny, and Soleil Williams decides to take that 3. I would have loved to see her try to create a little bit earlier in the shot clock.
Keys. Williams through her hands. Got it back, though. Great job by Sahara Williams. For a split second, it looked like a turnover, but she turned it into 2. Williams, tough take on the other end. Soleil, no. Jada Malone with the putback. First points for Jada Malone, averaging 10 a game. Verhulst to the basket.
Sahara Jones took a cutter who was making a rim run, and then she just couldn't get out, back out to Verhulst. Verhulst attacked that top foot and got to the rim.
Here's Malone posting up against Scott, lost the handle. Scott playing with 4 personal fouls, but they need her on the floor right now with Beers out of the lineup. Keys, excellent 3-point shooter, not this time. But a second chance, and when you're a shooter, you shoot. But 0 for 2 that trip. Jones. The entry pass to Malone, batted away. And it will be Texas A&M ball, 12 to shoot. Landry Allen, sophomore from Tuttle, Oklahoma, will come on. This is just the 8th game for her this season. She has scored 8 points, so Allen getting a little run here in the 4th quarter. With Scott playing with 4 fouls, Scott goes to the bench, and Beers out with the injury.
And I watched her this morning and shoot around, just go through all the post drills. You can tell the potential is there. Hands aren't always ready on offense. Just needs more reps right now.
She'll have a handful here defending Jada Malone, although Texas A&M looks for the shot from the outside instead of looking for Malone. Williams, well, how about this? Welcome to the game, Landry Allen. I'm going to ask retired coach Christy Thomas-Cuddy, when you go to a player like that who's shown you a few things in practice and shoot-arounds, and you need her and she delivers on the offensive end right away and then on the defensive end next trip, oh, how about this for a heat check? I know she's only been on the floor for a minute, but it was an early heat check. But there she is holding her ground defensively. When you're a coach and you go to a player like that, what kind of feeling does it give you that you've put your faith and trust in this player right now who hasn't played a ton this season?
Well, first of all, I would be pleased with the effort that she has shown, just the hustle, the rim run that she gave and her teammates found her, and then she gets back on defense just now, doesn't swat down, bodies up, and gets the block. And it also says she's been paying attention in the film sessions.
And there's a foul's going to be called. I think it's on Skylar Vann. A couple free throws coming now for Texas A&M. It is on Vann. That's her second. Reminder, Tuesday night, men's college basketball, some big-time matchups. You'll see Texas A&M taking on Kentucky. That's at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Cooper Flagg will be back on the floor after scoring 42 in the win over Notre Dame on Saturday. Duke taking on Miami at Cameron Indoor. And then out west, Baylor and Arizona. That's at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, all coming up on Tuesday.
Eric, SEC promos for men's basketball are just getting ridiculous because it's always ranked team against ranked team.
I must say, you've talked quite a bit about how competitive and how tough the SEC is in women's basketball. On the men's side, it is even tougher and more competitive.
Are you saying this is a basketball conference?
I'm saying it's a basketball conference. Jones tried to find her way through and didn't look like much was happening there. But she does get bailed out with the foul call.
Well, there's a lot of fans who do not agree with this call. I didn't see anything there. Jones got bailed out there because she left her feet. Jenny Baranchak did not agree. She was just squatting on the ground, shaking her head adamantly like, I do not know what's going on here.
One of two for Jones. She's got 10. Koulibaly back on the floor. Tot. Burholz. Skylar Vann defended by Koulibaly. Koulibaly gambling defensively. Tot sets for three. Kendall Hunter gets in there to keep it alive. Ware tries to rip it away, and it's a tie-up jump ball. We'll give it to Texas A&M.
Eric, Peyton Burholz, we know as a scorer. We definitely know as a three-point shooter. But that time, she did a great job of making a screen so her teammate could get the three and then leaves immediately to crash and get that tie-up on the offensive rebound.
Legal screen's going to be called, and a foul on Landry Allen. And stepping back towards the court is Reagan Beers. Good to see her smiling. By the looks of it, there's not much ice left for anybody else, though, after the game. That shoulder is really wrapped up. And a blocking foul is going to be called on Texas A&M. Those 16 points all came in the first half. 10 of those 16 at the free throw line. Next game for Oklahoma, I'm sorry, Christy, they host Mizzou on Thursday. Then they're at South Carolina after that. Three-pointer is good. Verhulst puts Oklahoma back on top by 20.
Well, first and foremost, we just hope Reagan Beers is going to be okay. She is one of the best low post players in our game, and we know going through this SEC conference schedule, they're going to need her.
Just a correction, it was Allen from Verhulst, and here is Skylar Van. Tot. Keys launches for three. Van tipped it, but here's Coulibaly. Approaching 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Coulibaly all the way to the basket. No. Ware is fouled by Allen.
I like the effort there by Coulibaly. No one was in front of her, so she just kept going and got to the rim, just couldn't get the shot to go down.
So Landry Allen will check out of the game. Big high five from her head coach. You can see when Beers left the game, they were up by 21. A&M up by 20 at the moment. Allen had 4 points, 2 of 3 shooting. She picked up 2 fouls, but she had a block and a steal. Pretty productive 3 minutes.
That's where she's making sure that the stat sheet's gonna have her imprint.
I just tried to make sure she was covered. I went down every column because she seemed to be in the middle of things in her 3 minutes.
Well, and I don't blame her. I'd go sit by Reagan Beers too. What are you seeing? What should I do?
And Reagan's like, look, I just got 10 pounds of ice strapped to my shoulder. And I just got back to the bench, but good job. Here's Tot, inside of 5 to play. Scott tried to feed it inside. Parker read it defensively. Trouble for Williams. 6 to shoot for the Sooners. That'll get us to immediate timeout. 4:41 to go in the fourth quarter. Oklahoma has not trailed here against A&M. Head coach and Jenny Baranczyk, the Oklahoma head coach, have turned out to be pretty good friends. They haven't known each other too long, but in the time they've been in each other's orbit, it feels like they've known each other forever. That's at least how they carry it.
Well, when we asked each head coach about the smile that lit up both of these women was really fun to watch. You can tell a lot of respect for one another. And it all started with USA Basketball. Jenny Baranczyk was a court coach for head coach Joni Taylor. It started there, and then Joni said they were out recruiting. And Jenny sat down beside her and says, "You don't know me well, but what can you tell me about the SEC?" And based on today, I'd say Joni told her a lot.
And Joni, being a competitor, she's like, I'm telling you nothing. Turnover for Oklahoma, shot clock violation. So that's 18 turns now for the Sooners. Still one below their season average, if you can believe that. Here's Ware. For 2, Janae Kent's been battling foul trouble today, but she gets her first points on that jumper to bring A&M within 16.
Well, for those of you who are wondering why A&M is not extending into more full court defense, this is a team that doesn't press much. Only 18 possessions on defense all season where they have full court pressed.
Coulibaly gets the layup in transition. Texas A&M has outscored Oklahoma 32-25 here in the second half. Problem is they were down 27-10 after the first quarter. So a big mountain to climb. Williams makes sure that they have to keep climbing. She knocks it down for 2.
Just a little token pressure now by Oklahoma just to force A&M to take more time off the clock.
Ware inside of 3.5 to play. Here's Moon. That won't drop. Ware tried to keep it alive. Good rebound by Liz Scott. Coulibaly batted it, but right to an Oklahoma player. I got to tell you, Zaya Van, the freshman, we kind of joked about a little bit. She's not the tallest kid on the floor. She's not the shortest because Nevaeh Tot takes that category, but Zaya Van hasn't been afraid to mix it up in the paint today.
Well, Todd's been a mainstay at the point guard position for Oklahoma, but this program's in good hands when she graduates because I think Zaya Van has so much upside. Her ability to get rim to rim off the bounce is remarkable. Great speed, good defender as well, but a freshman, so still learning, especially here in the SEC right now.
Handful of substitutions, including Aubrey Jones coming on for Oklahoma. Tennis's first Grand Slam event of the year. The Australian Open is underway. First round coverage continues tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN, and then 11 Eastern on ESPN2. Every match throughout the tournament is available on ESPN+. Lauren Ware at the free throw line for the Aggies. Coulibaly leading the way for Texas A&M with 14 points. Beer still the leading scorer for Oklahoma with those 16 first half points. Jada Malone in for Ware.
Jada Malone, number 13, in for Texas A&M.
Two and a half to play.
A&M's got to force some quick turnovers here.
Beautiful cut to the basket. The feed by Williams. The finish by Scott. And then the turnover. Coulibaly couldn't keep it in play, and it's Oklahoma basketball.
I mean, I'm just going to throw this out there again. Who was in the middle of that? Zaya Van.
Van played a total of 8 minutes in the last 2 games. Didn't score in 4 minutes against Mississippi State, but she's earned some extended minutes here today. She scored 7 points. She's got 3 rebounds.
I got to tell you, the Tennessee game is where she got my attention because this young lady is fearless. Went into Rocky Top, and just some of the pulls that she made on offense, well, weren't quite as nice as that move by Aisha Coulibaly, but they were fearless.
Skylar Van will try the deep 3. No. Williams in the middle of things for the rebound, and she was fouled. Aggies aren't over the limit yet. You can see what's ahead for Oklahoma. Mizzou on Thursday, then at second-ranked South Carolina next Sunday. And 2 ranked opponents after the Georgia game to follow, LSU and Kentucky. Of course, everything will point towards Reagan Beers' availability as she left this game in the 3rd quarter with an upper body injury. She's got the left shoulder iced up and wrapped up. Jada Malone scores on the inside.
And Jada Malone is one of the most efficient players when she catches the ball in the paint area. That's why I said she needs more touches and opportunities to score for this A&M offense.
The Van sisters try to do a little 1-2, but they need a little help from the outside. Can't get it. Malone. Soleil Williams and Sahara Jones got tangled up with Zaya Van. So we wish the very best to Reagan. By the way, she was 3 of 9 from the field today, so her field goal shooting is going to take a hit because when you come in at 70%, good to see her back here on the bench to support her teammates. And we'll find out in the days ahead her status moving forward. Jones at the free throw line. Texas A&M, after facing a top 25 team in each of the first 4 games of conference play, they host Georgia on Thursday. Then they're off for a week before back to top 25s, Kentucky and LSU.
Let's be frank, in the SEC this season, it's not if, but when you're going to face a ranked team. Top to bottom, this league is the most competitive I have seen it probably in the last 6 years.
Jada Malone gets called for the foul. So A&M will fall to 1-3 in the SEC, 8-8 overall.
And I think to my point about how the depth of this league is Oklahoma is the number 10 ranked team in the country, and they will move to 2-2 in the SEC.
Leaner from Kirsten Johnson. I count 10 different scores after that Johnson basket for Oklahoma, by the way. No, 11. I forgot about Landry Allen. How could I forget about Landry Allen? Sorry, Landry. Thankfully, I pumped her up while she was on the floor before, but Allen, Beers, Scott, Van, and Van. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different scores today for Oklahoma. Beers leading away with 16. 2 free throws for Malone.
But Eric, I think your point about 11 different scores just goes to the depth of this team and how difficult a matchup it is to prep for, because they want to play with pace. They move without the ball so well. They share the ball so well. And to finish it all off, they shoot the ball really well.
They just have to take care of the ball. 18 turnovers again here today. That is the big issue, and Jenny Baranczyk knows it, and people talk about it. And number one for her is take care of the ball. Don't be hesitant. And she just sees players overthinking things sometimes, as they'll take a turnover here, which will guarantee that they'll have more turns than an opponent again, but it won't hurt them today because Oklahoma's going to win it. 4 seconds to go, and Texas A&M will dribble out the final seconds of this game here today. (77-62) will be the final. These head coaches, heartfelt hugs. Of course, they don't like playing against each other because one has to win and one has to lose. And the question will be, how long will Reagan Beers be on the sideline, if at all, beyond today? We will wait and find out. But Oklahoma's an impressive team. If they don't hurt themselves going forward, this is one of the top teams in the SEC.
Well, Jenny Baranczyk has players. She's got a great system. And this is the one thing I've been saying all season long. Jenny Baranczyk does not get enough national attention for what she has done here at Oklahoma. She's got a winner here. With or without Beers, I expect this team to rally and to compete. Now, it is a gauntlet of games they have coming up. So I think I speak on behalf of Jenny when I say it'd be a lot easier if Reagan Beers is healthy.
Still early in the SEC schedule, but a bounce-back victory for Oklahoma. They're now 2-2 in the SEC, 14-3 overall, and we'll find out tomorrow if they stay in the top 10 in the AP poll. Sharing the wealth today, sharing the basketball, 11 different scores for Oklahoma, and they had 20 assists on 26 field goals. For Christy Thomas-Scuddy and our entire crew, I'm Eric Freed saying so long from Norman.